Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Coach's Corner. The boys are on the live. I am not because I am drowning in work as I just got back from vacation. But yeah, get
All
after
right,
it.
we're good to go. We're clear. We're clear. Oh, we lost Matt. What the fuck is going on?
My headphones connected.
God bless. We lost Matt. We got headphones.
Really? I see his face.
Do you? I don't see his face. I only got the two of us.
I don't know, he's frozen. His face is frozen.
On Instagram or on the computer?
On Instagram, his face is frozen.
Yeah.
What is he on the computer? He's like,
Yeah, let me message him on the computer. I got it.
oh yeah, he's coming back. He's
All right. There we go.
there. He is.
I got kicked out. I'm back.
Sweet, sweet, sweet.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
Same shit, different day.
Tim, I heard you had my current coach and my previous coach on the same interview.
Yeah. Yeah, it was awkward, man. It was awkward.
Yeah, Justin hit me up. He was like, dude, what the fuck is this guy Tim doing? Like
I'm trying to live the best of Matt Norman over here. I was gonna, as soon as I talked to Steve about it, I was actually gonna hit you up, but I realized you were obviously in Vegas and it wasn't gonna be realistic. So, but it would have been cool.
Yeah, I was dead though the rest of the week anyway.
I've already talked to Justin about coming back on again though, so hopefully we get another opportunity for it.
Sweet. Well, I only got 3 questions. I got a bunch of like
How many?
3. I got a bunch of like fucking stupid ones, but we won't ask those.
Instead of going back and forth, why don't we just each round them up? Why don't you go, I'll go, then Steven go. And Steve's eating
Okay.
anyway.
All right. Let me pull out my other phone. We'll roll through them. Okay. If you could train with anybody in their prime, who would it be?
That's a good one. Shit.
My answer
Anybody?
is Dolph Lundgren, definitely.
Good call. Good call.
That's all.
Yeah, it's like when you think about it, it's like your go-to immediately you think is like Dorian, Ronnie.
I was gonna say Branch Warren.
You of all people, dude, you'd fucking tear something in the first 3 sets.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know if I'd want to
but
train
if
Branch
it
Warren.
was just for one time, I would like to just have that 90-minute experience just to actually see the intensity. You know what I mean? Like, is that what we're talking? Just one session?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, him and Johnny Jackson, dude, like just imagine being like a fly on the wall when those dudes were like that. It was ridiculous.
Well, yeah. Are we talking like today we could train with that person, or that we
Them in
get to
their
like
prime.
transplant back to their time?
Them in their prime, you could go and train with them.
Fuck. I think I'd have to go Dorian now. Like blood and guts back in the fucking dungeon.
Yeah.
Like just I think I'd have to.
Yeah.
But who else is it? Maybe Platts?
I want nothing to do with Platts, bro. No thanks.
I don't know. I think I would fucking I think that's the type. See, that's why I would like the Dorian thing too. Like that's the type of thing I'd feel like. I feel like Branch, for as intense as he is, he'd also just like call you a pussy and like make you do it. Like where it's like Tom Platts or like Dorian Yates. Like I feel like they're, and especially who's Dorian Yates' training partner again?
I don't know the guy's name.
Fuck.
The guy was a nut.
Yeah, it's gonna be like right on top. Like he's gonna be screaming in your face the entire time. You know what I mean? Like I like that shit. That's what I want.
Super high pitched scream.
Yeah, there's also honorable mention. Leroy. Yeah, exactly. Leroy. Yeah.
Nuts.
Honorable mention goes to Callum Raystrick is a coach over in the UK. And they train with a very high intensity over there too. And it's like they always have like that camp going on where it's like whatever, him and Mark Hector getting ready for a show or like whoever, you know what I mean? It's like that environment where it's like one up. Each person is like going and it's legitimately like one up after the next person. So like those are the only recent videos that I've actually seen. And this is even going back a couple of years now, but they're the most recent videos that I've seen that I can kind of like, associate with. Otherwise, I don't know if there's anybody recently that I could really think of that would be that much of it. Maybe Jansen. We were just talking about Jansen the other day. Maybe Matt Jansen a few years ago at the Arsenal gym that they were doing that Arsenal showroom. I would like to be part of that. But I think I'd have to transplant back in time.
I would even say just like probably a stupid reason, but even like Phil Heath, just to see what that dude looked like at like 2 weeks out from the Olympian training, because that probably was just some crazy shit to see.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Like imagine just seeing that dude in like 2011 or 12, like in his first and second one, like 2 weeks out training with that dude. Like he looked like like a cartoon alien character. Like it didn't look humanly possibly real. It was
You could
nuts.
Yeah,
like
that,
you could
that'd
you
be one
could
of those
fit
ones
like
where it'd
your
be cool to look at, but not necessarily be part of. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Dude, you
Yeah.
could like put your whole finger in between every muscle separation on Phil's body. He's just such
It
a
was
cartoon.
ridiculous, ridiculous.
So I thought about it initially. I was gonna say Dorian, but John Meadows.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah,
a good
that's
one.
another
That's a
good
real
one.
good one.
Yeah, because he's just so intelligent. He brought a lot of like innovation to the training, and he's like a father figure, dude. He'd be like giving you life lessons in between sets.
I literally went back. There's a specific video. I literally just watched this like fucking 4 weeks ago or whatever it was before a leg day with him and Evan Centopani, and they're doing the
Split squats.
yeah, the split squats,
Yeah.
that video where Evan pukes all over the
Yeah.
place and they go into the hack squat. That's literally, I could watch that video over and over and over. But even those videos, relative to some of his newer shit, those were a few years back when and for all intents and purposes, John Meadows was, he was getting up there in age. So there's only so much that he could continue to handle. And he had that heart attack before, years before he had passed. So it was one of those things where his training intensity kind of, purposely went down and for good reason. You know what I mean? But yeah, like his older stuff, that was like some of my that was the shit that I gravitated to big time back then.
Did I remember a video of him and Antoine, like right before Antoine turned pro, and he had him rep the 150 dumbbells for like 30 or something like that.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah, they had some good shit too. They
Yeah.
fucking when he like took him to Trader Joe's grocery shop and shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Best advice for a first time competitor on show day.
Ooh, I have one similar to this too.
Listen to your coach. And breathe, bring headphones.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So show day itself is one of those ones where it's especially for a first time competitor, it's hard to manage because you really can't grasp how that level of like anticipation, anxiousness, nervousness until you've actually done it. It's one of those things where it's like, we all know anxiety is that thing where it's like we don't know what to expect, even though somebody tells you over and over and over again, especially if you don't have a history of standing on a stage in front of people. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where for me, and I think for a lot of people, it was, you're standing on stage and you're posing and literally your legs are shaking, your body's shaking. The entire thing is like, because it's nerves and you're fucking, potentially dehydrated. You're trying to control midsection. You've been loaded up with food, like all this different stuff is going on. And it's just one of those things where you really got to make sure that you keep calm and you understand that, like, you're going to get an opportunity to see people go out in front of you, most likely. Right. And like, everything is directed. Right. So like my first time, it was kind of like one of those things where it's like, where do I stand? Where do I go? Like there's a specific box on stage. You're going to be directed over. Like you just have to stay calm, focus, and pay attention, and then do the thing that you practiced over and over and over and over again when you're on that stage. And if you practice your posing the right way and you had the right coaches behind you in terms of your coach and your posing coach, it should be something where you can close your eyes and just literally go back to that practicing and do that same shit over and over and over again. And then the only other thing that I would say is like, be prepared show day, especially if it's your first show, right? For you and your coach, to have the manipulations that might need to take place. Like I might need to make you drink fucking 3 liters of water on show day. You know what I mean? And we just have to be prepared for that. I might need to, drive fucking, whatever, fucking 4 meals before a show somehow with fucking whatever, 300 grams of rice in it or 400 grams of rice in it. You can't be afraid of that day. You know what I mean? You got to recognize that it's a very particular environment. You're very sensitive, and we're trying to pull off a very specific look at that time,
Yeah. So I agree with everything that you said, Tim.
Oh God.
It's hard to like just say it, but try not to stress, right? Because the day's gonna go by quick, and you don't want to.
Let's pack the Crocs. Sorry, Matt.
The Croc shoes,
Oh,
if you want to consider them shoes, but if you stress out the whole day, you're just gonna look back and like not remember the day, and that sucks, right? Because you worked so hard for this goal, and the work is done. Now it's just time to display it, right? So, try to enjoy every moment of it as much as you can, right? And don't like sweat the little things, right? Take a lot of pictures again so you remember the day. And really important one, like remember your number. Like the last thing you want is to be that dumbass where they're like, all right, number 7, like move over here, number 7, number 7, like you fucking idiot with the brown hair and the green suit, move. Like that, and also don't be afraid to like ask the expediters questions. Like they're generally pretty friendly, depending. If you do the Northeast shows, maybe not, but generally the expeditors will help answer any questions that you have and make sure that you're in the right spot and all that stuff, right? So yeah.
Oh man, Sam's gonna make me crack.
I don't know what's going on. I feel left
I'm
out.
looking
Yeah, just keep reading questions.
You don't have any advice for first show day for first competitor, first time competitor, Steve?
Who, me?
Yeah, you. I know the first time you competed was the Stone Age, but
Yeah. What the fuck?
Good.
What happened?
We just got kicked out alive.
The live video just went out.
we get
We
kicked
just got kicked out alive.
Yeah, it's probably fucking.
Is it just me or did you guys both get kicked out?
Oh, we got it.
We all got kicked out. Remember, we're recording now.
I'm gonna go back on. All right.
Okay.
Oh man, Tim, that we'll tell you after.
Okay.
Fuck it. Oh, dude, I'll lose my shit.
Just remember, you got to turn back down your computers.
Sam, I'm shooting you a message.
All right, let's pick back up. Steve, what advice will you give a competitor first time competitor on show day?
So try and relax as much as you possibly can. Make sure you have everything your coach tells you. Have enough food. Overpack the food, because any little thing that could go wrong, you have to prepare for, because your cortisol is already going to be high from nerves, because this is a whole new experience for you. Be over prepared. Make sure you have everything. Make sure you know where your number's at, your suit. Make sure you know what time tanning is. Be early for everything. And when you're backstage, lay the fuck down and don't forget your headphones. Get off your feet and just listen to your coach. Try and get out of your own head.
Yeah, one other thing is don't be a fucking prick, like with your hood up and you're an asshole to every other competitor. Like
Oh
I
yeah.
can't stand that shit, dude. Especially like it's fucking regional shows, like where you're not the main character in a movie. Just like smile and be nice to your competitors, because odds are, if you're a serious competitor and so are they, you guys are probably going to be moving up the ranks together and you're going to be competing together for a long time. So you want to make friends, not enemies. Don't be a fucking asshole.
Good call.
All right.
That's a good one too. What Vanessa said. She said attach your number to the suit right when you get it so you don't lose it.
Yeah.
I've lost my number twice.
Any other tips, advice?
And don't be
Check it out.
scared to ask for more tan too. Don't be scared to ask for more tan, because the show tanners never fucking tan you enough. I know 2 ladies at the PA shows at least that do. Nikki and the blonde hair lady. I forget her name though right now, but they'll tan you like 4 or 5 coats, make sure you're dark, but a lot just fucking tan you and keep you moving. You know what I mean? So make sure that you are not scared to just, hey, I need another coat. You know, you paid for it. Hey, I need to make sure I'm dark enough. So
Yep. So last question I have is, what's your go-to cheat meal?
cheesesteaks.
Yeah, I feel like we've done this one a few times.
McDonald's, cheesesteaks.
Pizza, probably. Honestly, for me lately, it's really been a matter of like what I'm into at that particular time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Fucking Chinese food has been one for me recently that is like a kind of new and different for me. I was never a giant Chinese food guy. Now, recently, I can eat Chinese food every goddamn day for every meal. I don't know why.
If I'm going out for like a nice cheat meal, I want either hibachi or sushi or both. And if I'm getting like some gross shitty meal, I'm getting either burgers or like a fried chicken sandwich.
PDQ.
Sushi's my go-to when I'm dieting, you know what I mean? And I'm getting a free meal of some sort. Like I'd rather keep it nice and clean and be able to get a decent bit of food in my system. Sushi seems to be that thing that really works well for most people. But if I'm having a cheat meal, I'm fucking eating.
Well, that's it for me.
All right. So how to control PIP? And then that seems like it's just a general question. How do you control PIP? Post injection pain. And then the same person asked in the same question, why does my L-carnitine injections hurt so bad?
Well, the pip, I can't talk about the L-carnitine because I don't know anything. I just know it fucking hurts sometimes. But in terms of post-injection pain, I mean, I first would question whether or not your gear is good or not. Because I mean, I've had lesser quality gears that hurt every time, and I've had higher quality gears that almost never hurt. So that's the first thing. And beyond that, I mean, just change up your locations, right? Don't be pinning the same spot every week, figure out a rotation that works for you and try and stick to that. Beyond that, just don't be a fucking pussy.
I got
Yeah,
an
you got-
injection question too, actually.
You might have to look at the oil that you're using as a carrier oil, or that the product is, that whatever. You got to look at the carrier oil that's in your product. You could be having a reaction to that carrier oil, especially if it goes like if you're using one brand, right? And you get post injection pain from everything, right? You might need to look at that carrier oil and the kind of reaction that you're having to that carrier oil. It's relatively common for people to have a reaction to carrier oils, so you might have to look for something that's going to fit you a little bit better. And then from there, I would also say you have to understand some product is going to hurt a little bit worse or a little bit more than other products, especially if you're somebody that's using one of these UGL labs where there's a lot of milligrams per ml. So when you have a high milligram per ml, you're getting a lot more of that active ingredient. And those are things that can be, like Steve and I have talked about this, like you get a 400 milligram blend of test in 1 ml, you're going to be in fucking pain. Like not just like a little bit of like, oh, my shoulders, like it feels like I got a dead arm or something. It's going to be fucking painful. Like it feels like you might have an infection in there for the first couple of times. And then another one that a lot of people are big on right now, Primo. Primo is one where if you're getting a larger dosage, a larger milligram per ml, like a 200 milligram Primo, I would like, is that even real if it's not giving you PIP? And then B, it should be giving you some sort of PIP at that point. Testosterone propionate's another one that can give you a little bit of PIP. So some of those products are going to give you a little bit more PIP than others. And you guys got to be prepared for that, even at the right dosages and the right carrier oils. But like Matt said, rotate your spots efficiently. And then when it comes to L-carnitine, I would say, honestly, right in that hip/glute area, like right here is going to be the perfect spot for carnitine. It'll hardly ever be an issue, and hardly noticeable once it's injected intramuscular that way. But I would also say there are some times where you might want to go sub-Q with carnitine, depending on what your dosage is and how much you're injecting.
800 milligrams.
800 milligrams, I would definitely go intramuscular, but I would go
Yeah.
in that hip/glute area, and I would just go back and forth in those two.
Oh man.
So next question. Unless you have something you want to add to that, Steve.
No, I just had an injection question. I mean, I don't know if you want me to read it and piggyback off that, or
Go ahead.
it was just what are your top injection spots? Like, yeah, where do you inject? That was-
My cock. No. So I'll full send 3 cc's in like my glutes or my lats. But beyond that, I'll rotate rear delts, long head tricep. That's really it.
Yeah, I don't pin my glutes. I haven't in a while. Like few years. I do my lats, the long end of my tricep, my medial head, and my rear delt. My quads. I use insulin needles in my quads.
Yeah, me too.
I don't ever feel any pain or anything with them.
Yeah, what do you upper quad?
Yeah, I just feel like on the upper outer sweep.
Yeah, exactly. I honestly, to me, right now, that's the easiest place to inject. So for me, especially if it's a larger dosage, I'd actually go quad, lat, and glute. I don't do my shoulders anymore. Too much scar tissue there. And then for me, so it's rear delt, lat, like I said, glute and quad, upper quad.
Yeah, the upper quad. I mean, I don't really feel any pain or
That's
anything.
to me, it's the easiest spot to inject.
Yes. Yeah, I don't do more than a CC in any spot.
I do quad, but I've been accused by
Yeah,
somebody, a judge, of site injecting my quads because I have, short lateralis that
It definitely looks like you do.
I don't.
No, I know. I believe you. I 100% believe you. I would just like, it's almost like if I were you, I'd be like, that would thrill me. You know what I mean? If I had the body part where somebody's accusing me of SCO, like, does that piss you off or does it make you happy?
Pisses me off when it's a head judge, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Well, I guess so.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure I
because they're
lost
going to mark you
Eastern
down
because of that.
negatively. Yeah. That's fucked up.
yeah, that was.
I guess
that was fucking
yeah.
bullshit.
And there's no way there's no way. First, of course, it doesn't matter if you do prove it. At the time they mark you down, you're fucked. Like
Yeah,
nobody's gonna.
yeah.
It's not like they're not gonna reverse it. You know what I
No.
mean? So like you're fucked. But like also, how would you prove that it's not? You know what I mean? Because for anybody that has a site, first and foremost, the only reason why you wouldn't think that you have spot injection there, right, or oils in there, is because it's very uniform from leg to leg. Like it's not like one leg is this weird bubble and the other leg, like your legs are like perfectly proportionate with one another. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no like deformity there. It's just clearly the way that your legs are built. But at the same time, you do have that fucking like your quads are like fucking, I don't even know what the word, like
I have like a
radical.
peak on my quads.
Yeah, for sure. Which is like fucking obviously you could see somebody saying that, but again, how could you? I don't even know if you could manipulate SEO to be so perfect side to side.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I know a ton of pros that were ordering that shit from Boston. 'Cause when Boston was
Yeah.
still alive, he used to fucking tell me. He used
Well,
to
it's
send
definitely popular. I've had
funny
people
as
tell
shit.
me.
He used to
I've
send
had people tell me they
screenshots
do
to
use
us.
Have you ever used it? Site injection anyway?
Who me?
I haven't.
Yeah.
No, Johnny put something one of them in my bicep.
Hyaluronic acid.
I don't know. It was before. It was. You're talking 5 years ago.
Right.
So, but no. Other than that, no.
Was that after you tore your bicep?
Yes. So that toured in March. Pulled out of Junior USA, and then did Big Cat, and then Eastern. So he put it like it was like right here.
How badly did that hurt?
It fucking felt like acid.
Yeah, we couldn't even fathom putting a needle in there.
I
Yeah.
got marked down at Easterns for that.
Really?
Yeah, they said Tyler Mannion said something. Like we could literally see the oil in your bicep, and I was like, "Well, I just did tear it 6 months ago, but it didn't even matter at that point because I got I think fourth there. But my body was so stressed from buying the house and shit the week before that I had 9 coats of tan and I was still fucking pale.
I do all my growth hormone in my arms, in my bicep.
Really?
Really?
What size?
Yeah, all
what
of it.
size pin do you use?
Insulin syringe for my growth hormone.
Why do you do it
So
there?
Like 29, 28.
Why do you do it there?
Because I have tiny arms. One day I want my arms to be as big as my dick. You know?
I mean, you must be almost there. You must.
I wish one way or the other, honestly, I wish.
All right, what else you got?
For a bodybuilder specifically, diazide or no diazide?
It depends.
Yeah.
It depends. Like we barely used any with Matt.
The most we ever used was, I think we did like 2/8 and like an eighth on
Yeah,
Friday and an eighth on Saturday.
yeah. But I
Yeah.
mean, when
I
you're
think
ready,
it's-
you're ready.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you could get away with not using it, like if you're in shape, I mean, you don't need to manipulate the shit out of your water, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did tell them that like the one thing that I would say is always have it prepared, like be ready, you know what I mean? Because like, again, the carb up could always go a little bit differently. Sometimes you go a little bit too heavy, which, you know, especially on a larger guy, I would just want to be prepared for that and always have it on hand. So like even for contest prep season, I usually have my own Diazide and I'll give it to fucking, you know, clients that are going to be potentially in need of it, just because again, I want to be prepared for that. That's something that I think should, you know, we should have on hand. And then from there, it's really one of those things where, like Matt said, like if you're ready, you're ready. And then again, at that point, it's just a security thing that you have on hand and not necessarily something you're going to take.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think if you are going to use a diuretic, Diazide's definitely probably your best option, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was posing somebody the other day, and he worked with not so much like a popular coach. He's a popular pro, and he was telling me the diuretic protocol. I'm like, holy shit, man! I can't believe people still do this. It was like aldactone all week and fucking Diazide all week, and
I
Yeah.
have.
If
I'm not going to name any names here. I'll tell you guys outside of here, but I saw a coach, pretty well known too, and I saw literally 4 of their clients use aldactone all week and just progressively fucking look worse and worse,
yeah,
and look like absolute dog shit, like smooth as looked like they were. It just looked like they didn't drop any water. It looks like they actually just fucking retained everything the day of the
Yeah.
show. It was horrible, dude. It looked like, imagine if like you cut no water, but cut all your fucking sodium and just overdid it on diuretics. That's what it looked like on all of them.
I think if you're using anything other than Diazide, you're in for a fucking wild ride, and you better know exactly what you're doing.
Like to the T. You can't fuck that
Yep.
up. You can't fuck that
Nope.
up. And that
I mean, if you
like
fuck it up,
Sunday to Friday, like it was an all week thing.
yeah. If you fuck it up, worst case scenario, you're in the hospital and you have fucking you're hyperkalemia, like you have too much potassium in your blood. And then the other side of it is if you fuck it up, you're gonna look like fucking shit on stage. And there's almost no saving that too. Yeah, you're done. You know what I mean? If you go light on Diazide, that you might be able to pull out of that to a certain extent and bring some life back to the physique. It's hard. If you over Diazide, it's very hard to do. But still, with the aldactone, it's almost like once you're gone, you're gone.
Yeah, you're gone, dude. That's gonna take a few weeks.
Mhm.
It's gonna take a bit. All right. What do you got? Tim, you got more?
Yep, I got 3 more. Steps or cardio for daily energy expenditure, and this was in general, not necessarily to do with prep or anything specific. It was just steps or cardio for daily energy expenditure.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, you know what I mean? Sometimes there's people who don't need the cardio sessions because they're in an off season and their composition's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, you just give them some, here's your steps to do. They don't need that session, and then there's, people that are just trying to maybe drive fat loss up and a lifestyle client, and they need, a good 20, 25, 30-minute session of cardio to drive fat loss up along with their daily steps. And then there's obviously, if you're in a prep, a lot of people need cardio to drive fat loss up at certain points, and some need more aggressive, approaches at certain points of a prep, and some don't, just depends. I think they both have a place.
Yeah, I would say the only time I think cardio is maybe completely out of the question is when somebody has a very, very high output in life in general. You know what I mean? Like maybe they're fucking, like I've had nurses before that do 25,000 steps. Right? I had somebody once that was like literally could not get under 20,000 steps, no matter what she did. It was like 20K steps a day, every single day. And there was multiple times where she'd be approaching 30,000 steps a day. And I'm like, there's no point in you doing cardio in any way, shape, or form. And she got fully peeled, fully shredded, with just the steps and not having cardio in at all. So unless somebody's in a really high stress environment, which could be a problem in and of itself going into a dieting phase, but it just in general, unless somebody's steps are so high that they're going to be kind of like, I guess you say, efficient at driving overall energy expenditure, you're probably going to need cardio in a lot of cases to be able to, like, again, could you make somebody do 15,000 steps, 16,000, 20,000 steps? Yeah. And sometimes in prep, I will have people do that. But the reality is it's a lot more time consuming to get in all those steps than it is to get in the cardio. And then the only other time, like for me, myself, it does work pretty well in prep to have the majority of my energy expenditure coming from steps as long as I can in prep, because my legs are fucking, I'm a tiny little bitch, and I'll waste away. You know what I mean? Like the more cardio I do, the more impact it drives as far as that leg atrophy is concerned, and then my training sessions start to suffer, the whole nine. So like I've always from day one, my first show would lose my legs when I'm relying too much on cardio. So there are those, but I do find that to be the rare circumstance. Like in my case, like we were just on a call with Austin Marina and I prior to this, where it's like, we're talking about how fucking low calories have to go sometimes during dieting. And for me, I told you guys, my calories have to go really fucking low. So training performance already sucks. On top of that, doing fucking even a half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour of cardio, it becomes a lot to manage. But again, I think that's the rare case when somebody needs to to maximize both. You know what I mean? Where I'm doing 1,200 calories a day and 15,000 steps a day. It's a lot, let alone cardio on top. So rare circumstance. So.
Yeah, I agree with you, Tim. Like, unless somebody has like a really labor-intensive job, I don't see a place for pulling cardio even in the off season. Specifically from like a heart health perspective, and just like from a getting the body moving, helping digestion perspective, right? Like, the only time I really pull cardio beyond that is, for example, just to like mitigate some stress right before prep, right? Like I had 3 guys who started prep 3 months ago, and all of them are having good body composition going into prep. But I pulled their cardio for like 2 weeks prior just to kind of like give them a little bit of a relaxation period before we jumped into prep, where obviously stress is going to be pretty high and demand on the lower half is going to be high, right? And same even for myself, right? Like I'm a super fucking hard gainer. Like I'm eating so much goddamn food, but I got 20 minutes in 4 days a week, right? Would I gain more weight if I wasn't doing the cardio? Probably, but I'd still rather have the the cardio in from a heart health perspective.
I think that's one thing we can all agree on, is that there's times where you always pull cardio. And people know that work with me. Like we'll always toggle cardio in and out based on the need at that particular time. But that's more acute. You know what I mean? Pulling out for 2 weeks versus what was going to be better for overall expenditure for long periods of time. But I do agree. The one thing I would say though is, and I've told you guys this before too, is like I think one of the biggest mistakes that I tried to make when I'm in an off season is that I would try to minimize my output as high as I could, even if I went back to trying to put on as much size and be in that position again. Even if I did try to minimize my steps, which I would do, I try to keep my steps around like 5 to 6K a day at most, just because it's all I'm gonna have to do is eat more if I'm getting 10,000 steps or 12,000 steps or whatever it is. And at a certain point, it's like, would I rather cut steps or eat more? Definitely cut steps than eat more, right? But I would still keep in a 20-minute session of cardio or something along those lines on a regular basis in that off season, like Matt was saying, just to get the body moving, digestion, and like just assimilation of all that food and moving it around a little bit. Otherwise, you're just walking. You feel like a gnocchi your entire life.
What was that?
The little potato pasta ball. Steve knows what I'm talking about. You just feel like your entire body composition becomes a gnocchi. Oh yeah, it's me. I forgot. Yeah, I'm over a year away from stepping on stage. What are some things I could do now to make sure I'm ready come show day? And now this one came in like multiple different boxes. So they specifically were talking about, again, they're a year away from show. What are some things they could do? They're working with another coach right now. What are some things they could do to be ready for show day? So it was more along the lines of like, I think they were asking, like, I guess my recommendation here would be like posing is one that stands out. Like, obviously, you got to make sure you're training. You got to make sure you're eating your food, like nailing your plan to the T, I think is probably the most important thing. And we could all easily agree on that, right? Where it's like, dude, be a bodybuilder now. Don't wait for a year. Like, I see this all the time where people are like, when should I get a coach? Get a coach fucking as far out. If you come to me and you're already thinking about a year away doing a show, I'm probably going to tell you we need fucking 2 years to be able to get you in shape, to look like a bodybuilder, to live like a bodybuilder for X period of time. That way, when it comes to prep, it's already an automatic thing that you've been doing for so long. All this shit is routine already. You know what I mean? It's not like you're just fucking going in, living a prep life for 20 weeks and thinking that's going to get you a competitive placing as a competitor. But on top of that, I would take posing. That's the number one thing that I see people end up, kind of dragging their feet with. And it's like, oh, I don't want to pose because I'm fat in the off season. You better start posing now, especially if you don't know what you're doing. The more posing you do, the better off you're going to be on stage.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I guess just to add to it, learn to love it now.
Yeah.
Because
Another good one.
if you're not loving it now, a year out, you're gonna fucking hate it when you're 2 weeks out.
100%. You got anything to add to that, Steve?
I was gonna say, obviously, the posing. Make sure you're learning how to train. Make sure there's intent in your training. You're not just moving reps from A to B. So when prep comes along, everything, like you said, is automatic. You don't have to teach mind muscle connection. You don't have to instill that in yourself. Everything's there, right? You know the movements. Figure out what movements fucking work for you too, and what you feel. So you're not switching shit up in prep. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much, and eat your food.
All right. Last one for me. Number one stress management tip for women.
Why does it have to be different for men and women?
I don't know.
Make sure you're sleeping.
Yeah, that could be one. Definitely. Anything else to manage stress?
I'm not qualified to answer this question.
Why do you say that?
I'm not a doctor. No, I really, I don't know. Like, I'm not one that tends to ruminate, so I can't really relate.
Well, honestly, breath work, I think, is one that kind of gets, we I think it's easily gets minimized or easily gets kind of eschewed, but I think a lot of people, we live in this environment where it's like really quick pace, where go, 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 everything's moving, and it's like, learning how to slow down, I think is an important factor, right? And it's like, even if we have to go from point A to point B, and it's like you slow down and you go right back to work or right back to handling the kids or right back to whatever it is that you're doing. And we understand you're going to go from 0 to 100. Being able to pull down to that 0 once in a while and have control over that and be able to actively do that is a very valuable thing in terms of balancing that out. Right. Getting those moments at 0 balances out the fact that we're going right back to 100. And the easiest way to be able to do that is to be able to slow down and breathe. And you can literally get your heart rate to drop within fucking 2-3 minutes, from whatever it might be, having a conversation with somebody like this. My heart rate might be 100 right now, 102 exactly. Right. But it's like I can control that and drop that, 15, 20 points in 3 minutes if I slow down, focus on my breathing, specifically do some breath work. And you can find a lot of that on YouTube. So that's something that I give to a lot of clients, like specific, breath work to do from time to time.
Dude,
And that can drive up lipolysis too, of fat loss. Go ahead.
If I try to do breath work, I just focus on my heart rate and my heart rate goes up.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's one of those things where that used to be me, honestly. That was like, there was a point where I remember, and I was talked into doing yoga specifically to be able to drive, the environment there, like the ambiance, like the whole thing, to be able to kind of slow down a little bit. And in yoga, the classes that I did anyway, they focused on breath work. But previous to that, I was the type where it was like meditation or yoga or whatever it was. There was no fucking shot. It was one of those ones where it's my brain's going a million miles a minute. I got too much shit going on. I can't sit there, for that long and not concentrate on something or concentrate on nothing. And it's like, you got to really like actively practice that shit to be able to have that level of control.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I guess probably because I'm just eating so much fucking food, I'm so heavy.
Oh yeah, your heart rate's
I have
definitely
sleep apnea. My resting heart rate is not good.
Yeah.
So when I do,
The PEDs will do it too.
I mean, my PEDs aren't even high right now, so it's probably not that. I think, dude, I think it's honestly just the body weight. But like, if I lay down, I'm so hyper aware of my heart rate that I focus on it, and then it feels like my heart is fucking pounding. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can't even. Another reason why I'm probably not the right person to answer this question, right? But what I would say beyond that, actually, thinking about it is, I don't know if this is stress management, but a way to address your stress is think about, like, actually break down what is stressing you out, right? Because if there are external things that you can work towards to fix, do it, right? Like if you find that your job makes you fucking miserable, is finding another job an alternative, right? If you have a shitty relationship with your partner, can you take steps to fix that relationship, or does it make sense to leave that relationship? Things like this, right?
Those are definitely those are the big things too. Like those are the big ones that are going to make, like, breathing will do something where it's like, again, it'll drop your heart rate within a certain time frame. You know what I mean? But that heart rate's going right back up. What Matt's talking about is more things that are going to be like overall make your life better. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't even know if that's definitely stress management, but maybe even fixing some of the stress in general. Does that make sense? Yeah, like getting to the bottom of the stress.
Yep.
All right. Steve, it's on you.
Favorite current day physiques.
Good question. Open, probably Samson.
Yeah, big Samson fan.
Classic. I'm on the Wesley bandwagon.
I think for bodybuilding, I mean, I like more of the 212 guys. I like that. I know Matt, I've sent you him before, that dude from Argentina. The dude looks fucking,
Barbario.
his like name's like Franciscos or something like that. Kid
Mhm.
looks fucking insane.
Yep, yeah, I know.
think-
Yeah, he's bananas, dude.
Dude looks nuts. He's doing the New York Pro, I think.
Yeah,
I think 212. I don't know. It says he's 3.5 weeks out. Isn't that when the New York Pros?
yeah. So it'll be him and Kareth.
Yeah, that kid looks incredible, dude. I think Patrick Tour coaches him.
Yeah, I think he used to work with Neil.
Neil Hill. I
Yeah,
have no idea, dude. I just know that like I came across this fucking page like a year and a half ago, and I was like, "Who the fuck is this dude?" It looks
yeah, makes
phenomenal.
sense.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I'm not clued in enough with the classic guys anymore. That changes so rapidly that I don't even know who's there. I couldn't even tell you who the top five is right now. Other than Bumstead, obviously. But Samson is a big one for me. I also Nick Walker, I feel like, is that guy that like if we're talking somebody that's just a big freak, like he's somebody that I could still associate positively with. But yeah,
Saw him
I think
Sunday.
yeah.
It looks
But
crazy.
I think we're missing that kind of like that component to bodybuilding right now. Like who is, and again, off the top of my head, I'm probably forgetting somebody, but like who is the giant big freak? Like I don't see like Andrew Jacked or like who's that other guy from overseas that kind of is the top 10 at the Olympia that was big for a while. It's like a German dude or some shit.
Dennis Wolf.
No, recently, they'll just the last couple of years came out of nowhere.
It's Dennis Wolf. Nuts.
Yeah, Dennis Swift was a big one. But again, we're missing that guy. We're missing like we don't really have that, and maybe Dennis Swift isn't a great example, but like we don't have like the Branch Warren right now. We don't have like the like that was the era that I grew up in, right? Where it's like everybody was just fucking massive and huge, you know what I mean? And now we have like Derek Lunsford winning Olympias. It's just to me, it's like even Hottie, like as much credit as I want to give Hottie because I do like his physique too and how gnarly peeled he can come in, as big as he is. He's still not that guy that's like, whatever, even 250s, 260 on stage or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we're missing that guy right now. And maybe Nick is the guy that comes and takes over that spot. But, those are the guys that I grew up on that I mean, it's like you're bringing up Dennis Wolf. What about the other who's the other guy that used to drink Vitargo and smoke cigarettes? Marcus Rule. Yeah. Like, yeah, guys like him, Gunter Sklimp. Like, we had some of the most fucking jacked, gnarly dudes ever when I was growing up. Like, even the prettier physiques were humongous back then, like a Victor Martinez and whatnot.
Dude, that 07 Martinez was like one of the best physiques ever.
Yeah, one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah.
What is a good cycle duration?
Wait, you guys cycle? You guys come off?
Cycle duration, I think it really like if you're experienced, like 20 to 24 weeks.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
Depending on what you're running, what the side effects are, yada yada yada.
Yeah, then you just kind of cruise on a TRT dose.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would have said, 20 to 24 weeks, depending on what you're taking and how you're tapering shit up and down and all that.
Yeah, what the labs look like.
Yeah.
If you lay down and you feel your heart beating so bad that you can't stop concentrating on it. Yeah, those types of things.
Master on dosage in the off season.
And these are all like so dependent, right? Like, have you run Masteron before? Are you a beginner? Are you experienced? Like, you don't want to go in full send like 800 MIGs if you've never even run it.
No, I would say anywhere between 400 and 700.
Yeah, honestly, Matt's run the off season though. I really do think, and again, I guess Matt, you have a good point there. And like, I don't want to throw out anything crazy and end up, like fucking telling a beginner to fucking triple his dosage. But I'm just saying, like, I think at a certain point, if you're using a drug like Masteron in the off season, and again, you have some experience under your belt and you're really trying to grow, you're probably looking somewhere closer to like, I find I have a lot more success with that Masteron at like between like 800 and 1.2 grams, honestly.
Oof.
Yeah. But that's
Say
if I'm
goodbye
using
to
it as a
hair.
secondary
Yeah, say
anabolic and
goodbye
there's
to
not
my
much else
beard.
going on.
Fuck that, Tim. I'm
Yeah,
not
well, I
taking
mean,
that advice.
how do you think we got here? But again, it's one of those things where it's also like, what else is going on there? Is it just Masteron or are we using some more of the pathway?
So I think, yeah, so like I could see the 800, right? If it's just like test and the mass, but say like you're sprinkling, a little bit of MPP in there. I'd say you could have like maybe 300-400 MPP, maybe back the mass run down to 600-700. I think you have your test.
Yeah. 100%, because then again, your total milligrams are going to be relatively the same. Now you're still talking about 900 milligrams of a secondary anabolic.
Yeah, and then
you know what I mean?
put a gram of test in there, 750, whatever you're taking. I mean, you got 2 grams right there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also think it's one of those things too, where if you're somebody that doesn't have a ton of experience, you got to really see like, like sometimes you can base it off of where somebody's physique at prior to, the cycle. Like, are they somebody that tends to stay relatively lean? Like Matt, for example, like I would like Matt, what are you going to do with Masteron? You know what I mean? What are you going to piss out fucking, half of the fucking Matt? Like Matt's not going to really get that much benefit from using Masteron in an off-season setting. You know what I mean? Like for a guy that's as lean as you are and stays as lean as you are, like I would want to jack you up with a higher level, something that aromatizes at a higher percentage or a 19 nor and like get a little bit more estrogen in there. When you're talking about Masteron and the implications that it has on your estrogen, I know it sounds great from a conceptual standpoint that it helps mitigate the side effects of aromatase, but that could also inhibit gains to a certain extent too. And when somebody's a really hard gainer, it might be something we have to look at where you keep the Masteron a little bit lower and drive up the aromatizing compounds a little bit higher. I think that's something where it's like, is Masteron the right drug per the goal?
Tips for final 4 weeks of prep.
Wants to go. Wants
So
to go.
just
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Keep doing what you're doing. Just stay the course. Don't cheat. If you have any doubts, be yourself, speak to your coach, and just remember what's gotten you to that point. And keep in mind that at that point, it's all mental, right? Like your workouts might be shitty, but you have to get the work in. At that point, everything you're doing is just to drive fat loss up and burn calories, right? And just preserve muscle. So just put as much intensity as you still can. And also too, don't think you need to do more.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think you need to do more. Don't and stay the fuck off social media.
Yeah, that's
right.
my.
I'm looking at everybody I have to beat when I'm 4 weeks out on social media. Fucking beat this guy and just fucking beat this guy. I'm kidding. I was not that confident the last time I competed, but yeah, I agree. I agree with what you said, and also like don't focus on what you're gonna fucking eat after the show. Like focus on the
that
goal
too.
at hand. Because like the mind, the body follows where the mind goes. Huge believer in that in all aspects of life, right? If you're focusing on the fucking food, you're focusing on the wrong thing. You focus on the goal.
Yeah. What Steve said, like make sure that you are. Wait, I forget what you said that I was going to follow up on exactly. But basically, what at 4 weeks out, I'm probably starting to manipulate shit to get us lined up for that stage. So at that point, I'm probably setting us up where the diet is basically, whatever it might be. Like if I'm going to backload somebody, maybe it's a little bit lighter and higher fats at the beginning of the week. Then we'll start to reintroduce carbohydrates, like, whatever. Wednesday, Thursday, we're loading a little bit more. Water is going to be manipulated on those days. So I can start to look at what is that physique doing on Saturday and start to put something in place there that's going to be very indicative of what we're doing show day. You know what I mean? And that's probably going to be, even if somebody's not 100% ready at that point, I'm still lining things up in that way where we're going to be able to kind of ride that right into the show. So usually, and there's some people where it's like I've already talked to somebody now, and we're like probably still 10 weeks out. And I told them flat out, like, don't do fucking anything without questioning me first. Like, I don't care if you need to take a shit in the middle of the day and it's not normal for you, text me first and let me know. So like stay in contact with your coach and make sure that you're just, following the plan to the T, even with the changes that we're making, whether that's measuring sodium, looking at the water more closely, like all those little details, all of those are going to matter when it comes to show day.
Yep. 100%. All right. Anything else you guys have?
Nope.
My last one was fuck, marry, or kill the stairs, elliptical, and treadmill.
Kill the
Fuck, marry, and
stairs.
kill.
Kill the stairs.
Oh,
Marry the-
what?
Dude, did you have me on the stairs once in the 3 years we worked together?
I'm with Matt
No.
on this one.
No, but I mean, I like this. I like the stairs.
So kill the stairs. Marry the treadmill. What was the other one? The elliptical?
Yeah, fuck that thing. I would
Oh,
kill that.
kill the elliptical too. I don't give a fuck. I'll just marry the
I'm gonna fuck the elliptical, kill the stairs, and marry the treadmill for sure.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I do take it back. I would kill the elliptical before I kill the stairs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what
But,
the
but
fuck?
I could kill them
I'd
both. honestly.
wait. Are you serious? I'd rather use the elliptical any day over the fucking stairs.
No.
Yeah, hell yeah, absolutely.
What
Fucking
the
the stair. I'll lose 3 pounds on a stairmaster session. Like legitimately, that I will fucking the stairs is way too much. I like the elliptical. At least I can like fucking I can get on there. I can work really hard, and it's not going to be too much. You know what I mean? Whereas the
Yeah.
stairs, it legitimately is too much for me for sure.
The stairs is such an overused tool in bodybuilding.
No, yeah, it is. I agree. I mean, I'm talking right now. Like, if I was to go into a prep, Johnny would not have me on the stairs. He would
Be
tell me
ready.
to
You'd be
do.
ready in 2 weeks.
He would tell me to do my treadmill. You know what I mean? But for
Yeah.
right now, I do 20 minutes every morning. Again, health perspective. My blood
Yeah, it's
pressure,
different.
my
It's
appetite,
different.
all that. I just, that's all.
Yeah, that's way different.
So,
Good question.
but yeah, I would definitely kill the elliptical. That's for sure. I'd probably marry the treadmill and fuck the stairs. Oh, we're talking about fucking inanimate objects, but here we are.
And Steve's got a boner. Steve's got a
Yeah,
boner.
you got way too excited on that one too.
All right, is that all we got? That was quick, huh?
So
It was a quick
Ready
one.
for an outro?
All right. So are we gonna make this awkward or are we gonna sign off real quick so nobody knows that we are
Do
I'm
I
signing.
say it,
Oh,
or
they
does
can't hear
somebody
me.
else
I'm
say it?
signing
Okay, so,
off.
yeah.
yeah, Marina's gonna say it. Go ahead, Marina. You want to come? Should we close out the Instagram now?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's close
All
out the Instagram. Later, guys.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you everyone for listening to another episode of Coach's Corner. Make sure you get your questions in for next week. Peace out.